We are at the day 2 of the G20 Summit. The summit has ended in New Delhi. Yesterday, Sandeep Dixit and I had spoken about the day one outcome of the leaders' declaration. It was an important declaration with near unanimity on several issues, which we spoke yesterday also, that the words the war in Ukraine were used to describe Ukraine, one of the key touching points among the several leaders. Today, day 2. US President Joe Biden left in the morning. There was the third and final session today, which Joe Biden and also British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak missed. After that, there was a lot of talk. Mr. Modi closed the summit with a big thank you around 3:30, 4 o'clock. After that, the two sides, India and several other countries, held bilateral talks on multiple issues. Sandeep will walk us through what has happened. Sandeep, what was the importance of day 2 of the G20 summit here in Delhi?
Ajay, that was a very pithy summary of yesterday's proceedings as well as what happened today. And as you put it, a lot of important leaders were missing from the third and the final session that was held today. A lot of it, of course, as you know, is because much action happened on the first day, unlike a two-day summit where the action happens on the second day. So, after the first day, today was a bit of an anticlimax, and as you know, PM Modi had lined up about 15 bilateral meetings. So bulk of the bilateral meetings took place today, and that was what was the cynosure of attention. What also grabbed attention were individual press conferences by world leaders. So one had Turkish President Erdogan, French President Macron, and a whole lot of other leaders also who came to our press center and addressed us and told us about their nation's priorities. So that was important. And of course, bilateral stole the limelight in the sense that PM Modi had one with the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, and you saw the body language of that. So that was obviously a very cordial meeting. But on the other side of the fence, there was the meeting between PM Modi and Canadian PM Justin Trudeau, which was labelled as frosty after people judged the body language of the two leaders. And the Canadian PM Justin Trudeau has also been lying low. I mean, he has had a very low profile this time. So that is also intriguing. And then there was a substantial meeting between the Prime Minister and the French President, where if you remember that at the Bastille Day parade, PM had gone and they had decided on a Horizon 2047 document that was going to cover a lot of futuristic sectors. So they reviewed that also. And since you're a defense expert, Ajay, I'm sure you would know that what all was reviewed in the things, the military hardware deals that have been signed in the recent past. So maybe you can tell little about that also. And then there was the meeting between UAE President and PM Modi. That is also a crucial meeting because when we are talking of a communication corridor from India via Middle East to Europe, the UAE's ports, very advanced ports, deep sea ports, they are going to play a very crucial role. Plus, UAE has deep pockets, so India is looking for more investment from UAE in the infrastructure sector. So these were the major meetings. And now, Ajay, I would like to put a counter question to you. One, if you can tell us more about the India-France defense tie-up. I'm sure there would be a difference with the US-India defense tie-up, and whether the G20 touched on security, because G20 has been speaking on geopolitical issues. So did it touch on terrorism and security? And if it did touch, was there anything new or novel, or was it just a reiteration of old formulations? Ajay.
Sandeep, thanks. You brought it out very well. First of all, the question which you asked about the French and the Indian military hardware deal. In June, there was talk about a Safran engine maker and the HAL Hindustan Aeronautics Limited deal to make an jet engine in India. There's also 26 of the Rafale marine version to be purchased from France. We have also okayed 3 additional Scorpion submarines, which is called the Calvary class in India. These will be fitted with the AIP plug. AIP means a technology which allows a submarine to stay submerged longer periods. Also, interestingly, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov also mentioned that the India-Russian defense deals and the arms supply will continue, which is very critical since Russia faces sanctions in the American Cartel law. and India has been threatened to face the same actions which India has so far avoided, telling the US that we have a different relationship with the Russians. To come to the point of terrorism and security aspect which the G20 mentioned, specifically I would bring the listeners and viewers to one point: cryptocurrency. All the nations have spoken about eloquently about that and having a counter framework. That framework includes sharing information between the countries on crypto assets, which include coins, which includes other assets which are now legal tender in some of the countries. There has been no cross-reporting of cryptocurrencies across the countries, and it is suspected that some of these cryptocurrencies are also used as parking, money laundering, being parked for terrorism and for real estate, large chunks of real estate. Now, with some kind of sharing of information and some kind of framework formula across the G20 countries, the G20 countries are serious. They have ordered an IMF study also to look into it and what is to be done, and a suggestion was accepted that this will be carried forward. The G20 also said that in October 23, just next month, the finance ministers and the central bank governors will take forward this and bring about a framework for cryptocurrencies. I repeat, cryptocurrencies are a threat in terms of terror financing and also large real estate. Sandeep?
So that was the security aspect connected with terrorism. And there was some references about terrorism in the G20 joint document also. So do you think this was new or old? And do you think that more work needs to be done on this just like so much of work is being done on cryptocurrency and other aspects?
Sandeep, I'm sure our listeners and viewers are well aware that this matter the G20 has been talking about, but the real matter rests with the UN, which is yet to decide the terms of reference, what is terrorism. The terms of reference to define what is terrorism are yet to be done by the UN. That matter, as all of us know, are pending. The G20 cannot take on counter-terrorism. Yes, they have put in high-sounding words that they'll be battling terror and religion or any aspect of terrorism is not acceptable. True, but let the UN say it. That is a wider body. The G20 is just 20 plus 24 countries. That's what I see it, Sandeep.
Yeah, so in sum, we can always say that this G20 summit has been successful. Successful in the sense it has added a new member, African Union. First time it has done so in its existence. And second, it arrived at a joint declaration. And third, of course, a lot of meetings were done on the sidelines, including two in which Prime Minister Modi and US President Joe Biden figured together. So in that sense, a lot of work has been done, and what is noteworthy is that PM Modi has said that there will be a G20 virtual summit in November, end of November. Why end of November? Because December 1, the presidency formally goes over to Brazil. So, despite the summit formally ending now, it is a matter of great satisfaction that India is going to review what has been decided, and then is going to see how much progress has been made after 2 months, which means G20 is now becoming a more vibrant platform.
Sandeep, thank you for those words. We end the Tribune coverage of G20 YouTube channel. With me is Manas Ranjan Bhoi, the video journalist, Sandeep Dikshit, my senior colleague. We sign off from the G20 as the summit ends today. Thank you.